SCAD Shorts is a channel that was active around 2007 to 2008. Their description reads, a monthly series of shorts by the Danny Dwarves. Nearly every video posted to their channel is disturbing, confusing, or weird in some way. This video posted in May 2008, however, is one of their most popular and most disturbing. The video currently holds over 1 million views and has made the rounds through Reddit, 4chan, and even Facebook. The short 3-minute video begins with a young girl in an empty lot who comes across a life-size pencil with a shrouded and shocking face. A slow, childlike song plays over the scene as the girl picks up the pencil and draws a large cake. The cake becomes real and she squats down to eat the dessert.
Sorry, when I talk about this video, I am eating. And probably painting too. Because, I have a laptop, so I'm probably going to be going half this time.
Next, she creates a kite which she plays with for some time. At this point, while the video does create a sense of suspense, nothing bad has happened. It seems more a questionable short on childlike imagination. Things take a dark turn when she draws out a large lollipop. Instead of her quick sketch turning into a large brightly colored candy, a black cone of some type is created. The large black circle with a pointed back makes the sound of a large drum. The girls walk forward to inspect the dark mass. She looks back at her pencil friend with disappointment clearly sprawled on her face. When she turns back towards the black hole, she is pulled in by some force of suction. The remaining seconds of this video feature Pencil Face silently looking at the black hole with his disturbing and somewhat comical smile.
Soft. Oh.
Number 14, the Squidward tape. One of the most popular aspects of online horror is creepypastas. The Creepypasta wiki has made it simple for anyone to log in and write a bone-chilling horror story. Most of these shorts go viral, turning from a work of fiction to an urban legend. Jeff the Killer, Slenderman, and many more modern legends originated on the Creepypasta wiki. Another great aspect of creepypastas is all the fan art that comes out of them. Users all over the web paint, sketch, and produce artwork in honor of their favorite scary stories. Squidward's Suicide is a popular story from a few years ago that claims that a Nickelodeon Studios intern came across a lost tape from the animated series SpongeBob SquarePants. The tape was labeled Squidward's Suicide, and the episode was apparently horrifying. Squidward plays a concert that doesn't go well, and later he has sort of a mental breakdown. In between frames, there was allegedly pictures of a lifeless child. By the end of the disturbing and distorted episode, Squidward places a gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. Of course, it's safe to assume this was just a brilliantly made-up story by a creative writer. There are several fan-made versions of the supposed lost episode. While they are all disturbing in their own way, this upload by the 7 Hun titled Red Mist Lost Episode, aka Squidward's Suicide, is perhaps the most unsettling and realistic. The quality of the footage, the audio, and the images presented are enough to fill your nightmares for at least a month. The distorted and confusing nature of the video puts the viewer at unease. The fact that this is a beloved cartoon that many grew up with makes it even worse. Number 13, Haunt. This short 4-minute video was created by YouTuber Emperor Gleneth, who describes himself as a young man from West Sussex in England, into writing, acting, and directing films or animations. Haunt was uploaded in 2006 and currently has over 500,000 views. The video follows a doll with dark eyes locked away in a small cottage. The doll seems upset or distraught, although it is unclear why. From her bedroom to a dark hallway, we follow the doll as a slow acoustic version of Pink Floyd's "Is There Anybody Out There" plays over the scene. Eventually, the doll opens the door to a bedroom. The music changes to a low, wavy, melodic tune as she enters the room and looks around.
Cinnamon fans, your date with destiny has arrived. Let's do this. cinnamon frosted flakes are finally here. Sweet cinnamon and the frosted crunch you love. Well,
Tastes like victory, team. Tastes like victory.
they're great.
She climbs into her bed and continues looking around before things pick up. The doll looks outside and there's a sharp sound which elicits a jump scare.
When you're out of
She
pizza
seems
rolls.
horrified, covering her eyes and sobbing. Through the bedroom window, a terrifying dark figure with wiry hair and a white dress or shirt peers into the window. The figure runs from the window and the doll begins to panic. The next shot shows the dark figure standing in the hallway beyond the doll's open bedroom door. She turns over and pretends to be asleep as the terrifying figure makes its way down the hall.
This is why I don't see the door open.
The screen cuts to black and a few seconds pass before a successful and bone-chilling jump scare. The creator mentioned in the description that the stop-motion short was based on the nightmares of his younger brother. Number 12. Light is Calling. This film originally made the rounds as a disturbing found footage. Of course, there was probably a rumor at some point that watching the short video would curse you, and that is common with popular scary videos. However, this short film was created by filmmaker Bill Morrison. The film was released on January 16th, 2004 and currently has about 63,000 views. The experimental film is described as a meditation on the fleeting nature of life and love. On the YouTube upload of the 8-minute film, the description reads, "A scene from the deteriorating print of James Young's The Bells, 1926, was optically printed and re-edited to Michael Gordon's 7-minute composition, a meditation on the nature of random collisions. Despite the initial horror of this being a found footage, the art style and vintage feel does add a disturbing factor to the short. The haunting music and poetic description also gives the viewer a sense of uncertainty and horror." Number 11. Possibly in Michigan.
Sharon attracted violent men. Strangely, she had a way of making the violence seem like it was their idea.
This clip is an excerpt from a short film created by Cecilia Condit in 1983. The full film is about 12 minutes long. This clip begins in a shopping mall as a catchy song plays, which sings,
I bite at the hand that feeds me, slap at the face that eats me, some kind of animal cannibal. Cannibal?
Next, two women in the mall meet up as the narrator describes the scene.
Her friend Janice was cut from the same mold. They even liked the same perfume. Arthur, who had been following them closely, was similarly disposed. The three of them had two things in common: violence and perfume.
As the short clip goes on, it seems more like a confusing music video than a film. Despite a slightly comical and lighthearted feel, the video is still disturbing. The scene changes countless times, the voices feel distant from the actresses, and there doesn't seem to be a continuous timeline. Our terrified masked stalker shows up behind the women in several different scenes and even seems to approach one woman in her home. Close to the 3-minute mark, the song changes to what played in the opening scene, as short clips of the two women dancing with masked men plays.
How do I meet the strangest men? They always seem to find me. Remember that time way back when I kissed the guy who ate his women friends?
Some shots seem to be videos of a TV screen. The women are shown running in the forest, in the mall, and towards their car. A building collapses and one woman is seen laying on a white sheet with flowers around her head, as though she's deceased. The end of the clip shows the woman saying goodbye to another as their stalker, Arthur, stares from a distance. The message here is unclear, but it's likely one of those rare internet oddities that terrifies the viewer with its aged and confusing nature. Be warned that after watching this video, it is impossible to get that eerily catchy tune out of your head. Number 10. The Night Stalker voicemail. Night Stalker pseudonym has been used for several killers and characters in modern media. The original Night Stalker was a rapist and serial killer active from 1978 to 1986, also known as the East Area Rapist, the Diamond Knot Killer, and the Golden State Killer. This unknown deviant was active mostly on the East Coast. During his spree, he raped and abused over 12 women. In addition, he murdered over 50. This notorious killer was never captured or even identified. Either this killer got away with his crimes and went on to live a normal life, or he continued claiming victims while on the run. Either way, he certainly never got what he deserved. In 2013, there was an increase of the reward for his capture. The reward was a promised $50,000, but still no tips have been reported. This audio recording comes from answering machines of a victim of the Night Stalker. He breathes deeply into the receiver and whispers. In the background of this voicemail, other voices can be heard, implying it was sent from a public place or around witnesses that knew of his crimes. It was most likely that he used a payphone to prevent the number being traced directly to him. The reason behind the voicemail was simple. Rapists and serial killers love haunting their victims after the fact. He was deeply satisfied knowing his victim had to hear his voice and was distraught by it. Number 9. Ted Bundy. This serial killer has become a household name. It's rare to meet someone that doesn't know who the notorious Ted Bundy is. In case you're one of the few though, Ted Bundy was an American serial killer, kidnapper, rapist, burglar, and necrophile. He confessed to killing over 30 young women and girls, though the actual victim count could be much higher and is unknown to this day. A sick mind like this, that goes down in history, is more rare than you'd think. To this day, there are people that adore and deify Ted Bundy. Despite his twisted crimes, Bundy was sentenced to death in July 1979, nearly 10 years later before his execution. Bundy gave this final chilling interview. In this interview, Bundy explains that he was the all-American boy with a dark secret. When victims met him, he was clean, polite, friendly, and approachable.
Basically, I was a normal person. I wasn't some guy hanging out in bars or a bum. I wasn't a pervert in the sense that, people look at somebody and say, I know there's something wrong with him, just tell.
He goes on to explain that the motive behind his crimes was a severe addiction to sex and violence. He claims that the media influenced a desire to be sexual and violent. Bundy was addicted to pornography for many years before the outlet no longer satisfied his fantasies. He eventually acted on his dark, lustful thoughts, which led to his actions spiraling out of control.
Once you become addicted to it, and I look at this as a kind of addiction, like an addiction, you keep craving something which is harder, something which gives you a greater sense of excitement, until you reach the point where the pornography only goes so far.
Of course, these could easily be brushed off as excuses for his inner evil, but it does make one question everything around them they consider to be normal. Number 8. Black magic.
Oh my god.
The healers had come upon nearly 100 objects, buried as part of a hexing ritual.
My god, look at that. That's unbelievable.
This video comes from a short National Geographic documentary on the Sonora Witch Market. The market, located in Mexico City, is a vast outdoor bazaar dedicated to witchcraft, potions, rituals, sex, and art. While most of the scenes in this short film are just of the market itself filled with food and affordable witchcraft materials, there are some scenes that many may find unsettling. Once the crew travels into the mountains, they discover over 100 items wrapped and buried as part of rituals. Many of the objects were related to hetch rituals, which are used to bring bad luck, bad health, and tough times upon victims of the rituals. Every object buried represented one person affected by the hexes. If you believe in black magic, it is a disturbing sight. Even if you don't buy the bit of witchcraft, imagine all the people that traveled to the Sonora market in search of a ritual to deeply afflict someone that did them wrong.
The people, men, women, children who were captured, so to speak, in those objects that are intended to break up marriages or break up relationships or to bring people together or more nefariously to kill people and end people's lives. And that was a horrible thing. Jeez.
Number 7. Types of schizophrenia, a day in the life.
You are about to experience a brief simulation of a psychotic episode in a patient with schizophrenia.
More popularly known as the schizophrenia symptom.
What the hell is this?
Halo Top ice cream. We just creationed it. What do you think?
It's delicious, but 280 calories per pint, 20 grams of protein?
Right? Now you can eat a whole pint and feel great.
No! You're supposed to be...
Later, this video was created by Janssen, a pharmaceutical company, in an effort to raise awareness and show the importance of schizophrenics sticking to their meds. The video is filmed in the first-person point of view and starts out innocently enough. A man is waking up and getting ready for his day. He brushes his teeth, reads the paper, and has a cup of coffee. Passing cars, children outside, and a lighthearted music can be heard over this bright morning. The scene cuts to a man lying in bed in what seems to be the middle of the night. Voices can be heard saying,
Worthless.
He's waking up now.
Oh, the phone woke him up. Don't answer. They'll know who you are.
You're a waste of
Why are you
space.
so stupid?
Waste of our time.
Stupid. So stupid.
The phone rings in another room and the voices go on warning him not to answer and continuously put him down. He answers the phone though the call seems distorted. A woman is heard on the other line talking about rain and pizza, but it's unclear her exact message.
Something wrong. Weather.
Now to get pizza.
Poison.
Pizza.
He's hanging up.
Do you hear me?
Don't eat. Out to get you.
The audio of the phone call and the voices begin to overlap. He sits down to watch TV. A news anchor describes 2 suspects in a robbery. The voice claims they know about you, despite nothing in the report being about our main character. A single voice chimes in, it's time for meds. But the other voices argue that he should not take them.
And in other news, officials closed the northbound
Time for
lane.
meds. Don't do that.
He walks into the kitchen and picks out the same paper from the morning before. The headline is changed to read, "Don't leave the house." Even the photo of a man that was smiling before seems to be scowling or frowning now. The voices overlap more. A cup of coffee transforms to black sludge. The weatherman on the TV even looks towards the camera and calls the man worthless.
Something wrong.
You know what, Chuck? There's just no stopping the weekend weather. You hear that, worthless? Weather's coming to get you.
Something wrong.
A pizza man knocks on the door. Likely, this is what the caller was explaining. However, as the call was very unclear, the voices exclaim that he did not order pizza, and this person is there to hurt him.
You're stupid to open that door. He has to open the door now.
Here you go. Don't do it.
He'll be in trouble. Poison.
This is for you.
Despite the voices, he accepts the pizza, and the voices warn the pizza man is part of the plot. He returns to the TV where the news anchor continues to shame the man.
Today's activities count. And you need some activities, especially when you're lazy and you sleep too much. Stop staring at me.
Someone begins unlocking the back door as the voices overlap more. The scene is dark and the man can be heard breathing heavily. A woman comes in with a bag of groceries and explains that she called earlier to tell him she ordered a pizza. She notices he has missed his dose of medication.
Oh, it's not too late to take it now. Let's get back on track.
She walks into the other room and opens a window while discussing what a beautiful day it is. The scene brightens up and the voices are silenced. The most terrifying part of this video is that it's not some horror film from Hollywood. It's not even a fictional scary story. It's an example of what some people are living with every day. Useful resources for mental illness will be linked in the description. Number 6, Psycho Child.
Okay. And what are you trying to do to your brother?
Kill him.
Kill him.
Why do you want your brother to die?
Because I was hurt so bad, and I don't want to be around people.
This 12-minute clip was taken from the 1990 documentary titled Child of Rage. The documentary followed a young girl named Beth Thomas. Beth was adopted after being removed from a severely abusive home. After her adoption, she showed signs of rage and violence towards others. Beth was diagnosed with reactive attachment disorder, a disorder that often portrays children as murderous psychopaths. However, the disorder is described as a child's failure to form normal attachments to primary caregivers in early childhood. Abuse or neglect can often lead to reactive attachment disorder, and while many show signs similar to Beth Thomas, other signs are unusual reactions to social situations, such as not forming healthy bonds or forming overly close bonds with strangers. In this case, Beth abused her brother so badly that he was sent to the hospital multiple times, often from stab wounds. In this clip, she explains that she wants to murder her brother, stick pins into her adoptive mother and father, kill her pets, and she even admits to killing several baby birds.
Okay. Who else would you like to stick pins into?
Mommy and Daddy.
What would you like to have happen to them?
Die.
And what do you do to the animals, Beth?
Stick them with pins.
Do you stick them a little bit or a lot?
A lot.
What are you trying to do to the animals, Beth?
Kill them.
At one point in the interview, she states, "I was hurt so bad, I don't want to be around people." While many see this video and believe Beth to be evil deep down, these behaviors are only a result of long-term abuse. Beth was beaten and sexually abused for most of her young life. Luckily, after intense therapy, Beth went on to recover from her disorder. She fully turned things around and was able to never act out violently again. Today, she's an award-winning registered nurse that works closely with children who suffer from similar disorders. Number 5, Spoilsbury Toast Boy.
You're such a good boy. Come here, Grandma wanted to give you a big kiss.
No thanks.
It seems every creepy video list we create, David Firth always lands a spot. This famous creator of Salad Fingers and Crooked Raw brings a twisted, sick, confusing, yet highly entertaining form of art that has never been seen before. Though the animator's YouTube channel only has about 700,000 subscribers, his videos rack up millions of views and he has been recognized for his work on Adult Swim and other mainstream platforms. This video, Spoilsbury Toast Boy, was created in 2004 and uploaded to First's channel in 2009. While it is not one of his more well-known works, it still has over 2 million views. The comments are filled with horrified and intrigued viewers, both praising and damning Firth for his ability to unsettle even the bravest of horror fans. The 3-minute-long video features a young boy interacting with his shaky, decrepit grandmother and what we can assume to be hallucinations. The young boy walks into a room where his grandmother sits in a rocking chair. There's a low classical song as background music that throws the viewer back to a time they don't remember. The boy drops what appears to be a pill bottle, and his grandmother asks for a big sloppy kiss. The roach-like humanoids in sweaters pop into screen and tell the young boy not to listen to his grandmother. The video glitches and the scene turns bright red. We zoom into the child who seems distraught and even horrified. The short goes on and the boy travels out to get special leaves for his grandma. When he comes home, their small home is filled with smoke. The boy ventures into the house, stopping to puke a black substance. He discovers that his grandma has been pushed into the fire. The roach pops out to exclaim, "I did it." The scene transports to a white room full of openings. The roaches pop out of cubicles and question the boy about his hallucinations. They go on in a conversation that seems to be like a doctor making an over-the-phone appointment.
Great, sir, yes? How does 941 sound for you, sir? Okay then, sir, we'll see you then, yes? Just remember, sir, we're the good beetle.
The video ends there, but of course, this is only the first in a deeply disturbing series. One YouTube